Hi there, I'm Wayne Jennings with another camera review. Today we're going to be checking out the Apeman A79 action camera. First of all, full disclosure, I did not purchase this camera. The people at Apeman sent it to me for review. Now this is one of their lower priced cameras. It retails for around $59, and I thought to myself, at that price point, it cannot be very good. However, I was pleasantly surprised, especially when you consider it comes with this. This is a plug-in external microphone. I mean, normally you'd pay, 15, 20 bucks just for a microphone, but it comes with this camera. But is it any good? Well, let's check it out. This camera has a 170-degree wide-angle lens and features a Sony IMX179 image sensor. It will capture video in resolutions of 720, 1080, 2.7K, and 4K video. Photos can be captured at 8, 12, 16, or 20 megapixels. This tiny camera weighs in at only 65 grams. That's about 2.3 ounces. And it retails for around $59 US. Now, before we get into all the technical stuff, let's have a look at some of the video that this camera is capable of producing. This inexpensive camera ships with a lot of stuff. I mean, check this out. Everything you see here is included. In addition to the camera itself, you get this snap-on frame, allowing you to mount the camera on a regular tripod, and there's a spring-loaded clip for mounting to a belt or a pocket. You get a waterproof housing rated to a depth of 40 meters. That's 131 feet. Now, this housing comes with a spare back door, but this one is not waterproof. You see, it has these two open slots on either side. That allows you to record better audio. It allows heat to escape, and you can take a Velcro strap and slide it through the slots, and that way you can attach it to a tree limb or a fence post. You get a nice selection of mounting hardware, and you get two quick-release base plates with extra adhesive tape, as well as a nice assortment of straps, Velcro, and zip ties to help secure your camera. There's this handy 2-button remote control, and the camera ships with two rechargeable batteries rated at 1050 milliamp hours. And of course, there's a USB cable for charging. You get this external plug-in microphone allowing you to record better audio. There's a nicely detailed owner's manual, and it even comes with a lens cleaning cloth. I really like the look and feel of this Apeman camera. The matte black finish is very attractive, and it's got a rubberized kind of coating all around it, so it's very easy to grip. The front, of course, dominated by the wide-angle lens. And there's a nice bright orange power and mode button on the front, so that's easy to see and activate. On the bottom of the camera here, we don't have a tripod socket. That's always disappointing. I think every camera should have one. Down here is the battery compartment. So there's just a little sliding switch here. You just slide it forward and then it kind of pops open and it comes right off, which means you could easily lose that because it's not attached. Now, in their defense, they do send you a spare battery door cover, but really, how much effort would it take to put a little hinge on there so you wouldn't have the possibility of losing that? Now, because there is no tripod socket, they do ship with this little cage device, which basically just snaps onto the camera like so. And now you have a tripod socket on the bottom and on the top, so you can use that. But really, it'd be nice if it was on there and you wouldn't have to rely on that cage. So let's check out some other sides. On this side, we have all our ports for connecting things. There's your HDMI port and a micro USB port. You have your micro SD memory card slot. And at the bottom here, this little hole is a 2.5 millimeter microphone input jack, because this camera will allow you to plug in an external microphone. That's a really, really nice feature to have. On the far side, there's a little tiny speaker here and two buttons, up and down buttons for navigating the menu and turning on the Wi-Fi. And on the top is your main shutter release and an indicator when you have Wi-Fi connected. So what I'm going to do here is just power it on. Just hold that for a second and the Apeman screen comes on. And this is not a touch screen. Unfortunately, you have no touch control. You have to use these various buttons. So there's a bit of a learning curve, but once you figure it out, everything works pretty good. Basically, you use this front mode button to cycle through. Right now, it's turned on to video mode. If I hit that front button, it switches to photo mode. Hit it again, it'll go to a menu of saved videos or photos, and then I can get to my main menu here. So I can select things using the up and down buttons like resolution, electronic stabilization, looping video, time-lapse, slow motion, various things like that. And then there's kind of a sub-menu on the bottom. Again, using that front mode button, I can go to the next menu, which is for photos, not video. And again, I can select the photo resolution and whether I want the burst mode, or there's a self-timer mode in here and different things like that as well. And again, just keep cycling through. You can go in and change things like the volume, the exposure. You can change the language, if it's got auto power off, format the memory card, things like that. And then back to where we started from. So not as convenient as the touchscreen, but once you figure it out, it's pretty good. And considering the low price of this camera, it's not a big deal. Here's a little audio test using the Apeman A79. Now right now, I'm not very far away from the camera. I'm about arm's length here, and what you are hearing is my voice as the camera microphone picks me up. And I'm actually pretty pleased with the quality of the sound that's recorded directly into the camera like this. But this camera does come with this external plug-in microphone, which should allow you to get even better sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip this to my shirt. It has a little clip on here. And then I'm going to take the other end and plug it into the camera. So now you'll be able to hear how it sounds using this mic. So let's check that out right now. All right, so this microphone is now plugged into the camera. The sound you're hearing now is the sound that this little microphone picks up. And in my opinion, it is better audio, although I do find it records at a lower level. So you have to boost it when you're editing to get a usable sound level. But the nice advantage here, it comes with a cable. Again, I'm about an arm's length away, but it comes with a cable. It's about 2 meters long, so I can back up and still get good sound. The really nice advantage is I can turn my back to the camera. So say I'm referring to something behind me, say I'm talking about a tree over here or something. Well, my back is to the camera, I'm talking, and the microphone is picking up my sound. So you get much better quality audio using the plug-in microphone. This camera will record slow motion video at 2 different settings. When shooting 1080 resolution at 60 frames per second, you can get this half-speed effect. And recording 720 resolution at 120 frames per second will give you this quarter-speed slow motion effect. It also does a great job creating time-lapse sequences, allowing you to expose a single frame of video every 1, 5, 10, 30, or 60 seconds. Still photos can be recorded in sizes of 8, 12, 16, or 20 megapixels. There is also a burst photo mode, as well as a self-timer mode. You can adjust the exposure on this camera up or down by a value of 2 stops in 1/3 stop increments. White balance can be left on automatic or set to cloudy, daylight, incandescent, or fluorescent. And the ISO can be left on automatic or set to 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, or as high as 3200 ISO. This camera has a feature called Electronic Image Stabilization, or EIS for short. Now right now that feature is turned off. I'm just walking down this forest path holding the camera at arm's length on a selfie stick just to show you how it performs without the stabilization. But what I'll do is I'll go back, I'll retrace my steps with the stabilization turned on, and you can see if it makes a difference. All right, so I've turned the image stabilizer on. I've gone back, I'm retracing my steps, walking over the same terrain. And as you can see, it's smoothed things out a little bit. Just kind of helps with these walking shots. This Apeman action camera can be operated remotely using the included remote control. It is really simple. There are just 2 buttons on there. When you push the white one, the camera begins recording video until you push it again to stop it. And if you push the red button, the camera will snap a still image. For more control of your camera, you want to download the app. It's called Live DV, and when you hook it up there with the Wi-Fi and hit connect, it will connect to your camera. As you can see, there's the image that the camera sees, and if you flip it this way, you get a nice big image as well. There's a few settings you can do, not a lot, but if you hit this little wheel down here, you can go in and change things like resolution, white balance, and exposure. You can, by hitting this button, you can record video until you hit it again. And of course, there's a photo button. So if you highlight that and hit the button, it'll snap a still picture. In conclusion, I was really impressed with the quality produced by this little camera. I mean, considering its price point, under $100, it shoots really good video. And the fact that there's a plug-in microphone so you can get good sound, that is just a bonus. The only issue I had when shooting time-lapse at 4K, I got some weird frame rate, like 17.3 frames per second, and it was kind of jittery. So if you're shooting time-lapse, 1080, 2.7 look really good. Other than that, everything else about this camera, considering it's under $100, it's something really worth considering.